And welcome back to Hannity and Colmes. Last night, Democratic leader Harry Reid had very harsh word for the Senate's proposal to make English the official language.
While the intent may not be there, I really believe this amendment is racist. I think it's directed basically to people who speak Spanish.
Unbelievable. We continue with Ann Coulter, Susan Estrich with us, and it's not even worth dealing with Harry Reid. It's just beyond ignorant. It is, once again, the race card being played by Harry Reid and the Democrats.
And that was a very racist statement, by the way. He gave it in English. I'm offended. I mean, that is excluding people who speak Spanish. That was very racist.
Let me ask you this. What I don't understand, I like the way the House Republicans are handling the immigration issue.
The House guys are
I would
great.
say 40 senators, Republicans, are doing okay with the issue. But then we have a case yesterday where they passed this Hagel-Martinez bill is a disaster because it's an open borders bill. And they want the government to do everything in English, and they pass an amendment, and then 5 minutes later they pass one to contradict that bill. And then they defeat an amendment that would have prevented illegal aliens who stole Social Security numbers and even used fake IDs.
That was amazing.
Well, what are Republicans doing here? Why are they the ones now responsible for allowing these things to pass?
It's one of those questions like how high is up? This is a reversion to the old Republican Party, the one that lost all the time. The Republican Party that defends corporate interests and doesn't defend Americans. I mean, Rush said it the other day. It was on the Drudge Report. I give a lot of speeches. I've gotten more intensity and more intense questions about immigration going back 5 years now. Bush and his cronies and some of the senators are only talking to big business.
Let me get Susan here.
They want cheap labor.
The English-only amendment is really aimed at people who speak Spanish. Harry Reid was right. Given that that's the case, it was clearly aimed at people who come here from Mexico, in spite of the fact that 92% of the people who come to this country learn to speak English.
I'm surrounded by immigrants and the children of immigrants all the time. And I don't know a single one who doesn't speak English. I got to tell you, such a waste of time passing. I happen to like Harry Reid, for starters. I think he's a very good and effective leader. I give him credit for speaking out. And when gasoline cost me I was just doing a survey here. I spent $52 today filling my tank. Richard, who's behind the camera here, he spent $60. Kathy, who put my makeup on, she spent $64. And the notion that the United States Senate has nothing better to do than pass a useless, stupid amendment on English only really makes me angry. I wish they were doing something about real people's problems.
Here's my concern. Are they going to be able to have warning signs in Spanish like deep water or, no lifeguard on duty or curve ahead? There's a real safety reason to be able to have...
no trespassing at the border?
That's very funny, actually. But
maybe they should.
Would that be in Spanish? Would that be okay if that was in Spanish for you?
Put that one in Spanish.
In Spanish, go back to your home country. That would be okay.
We'll also put it in Arabic.
I see. But that's a real issue,
Every immigrant
Susan.
parent wants to learn English and wants their children to learn English. The only people who don't learn English are people like my grandparents who had a very tough time when they came to this country learning a new language. I don't know about your grandparents, but this is such a sort of hateful measure. I mean, what is this aimed at? I just don't understand.
Susan, in America.
I agree with you.
You don't speak English, you don't succeed.
But you don't need a bill to do it. You don't need a legislation
By the way,
to
Susan,
do it.
you are not driving a fuel-efficient car.
No,
if it costs that much to fill it up.
You should see what gas costs up here. It's $3.99 a gallon.